Good afternoon, it's Howard Anderson here, turning in my final project for Improvement Science. I'm currently on a stage in room 105 at South Park Middle School. And my topic is increasing the availability of career and technical education in the middle school grade. So that's what I wanted to focus on. And I'm going to slide this over just to get it out of the way a little bit. That's what I want to focus on. I'm going to keep coming back to that. All right. So using my book and my Improvement Science book, here is my project. All right, my focus area. My focus area is my belief as public educators have the opportunity to increase the availability of career and tech ed programs in lower grades. In doing so, we can increase achievement for students, have students be better prepared for the workforce, so they can be even more financially secure at the time of graduation. And also, if we do this right, we can also increase attendance and graduation goals, and hopefully, fingers crossed, by if we do everything right, we can decrease our disciplinary goals. All right? So my favorite model was the driver model right here. And my aim is all students will have the opportunity to pursue career and tech ed opportunities in South Park school districts and perhaps other neighboring school districts. I'll talk about that one later. This is my method, and I will show you how I would do this. All right, here we go. All right, the benefits of this. This should drive me crazy here. The benefits of this are, by allowing students to access these courses earlier, we're giving them an opportunity to be qualified and trained and fully licensed at the time of graduation, all right? And as the world changes, we can see that there's a high possibility of AI replacing a lot of jobs that kids are currently going to college for now. If we are truly preparing students for the future, this is something that we should look at. Preparing them for a career in technical ed or technical and career vocational ed rather than always pushing that college track, All right? So that's one of the benefits. Another benefit that we have is the cost. Now, I believe you said on the first time we had class, you were talking about your daughter. You know how much college is. I mean, to go to college, you're looking at an average of $40,000 without stressing it. God forbid if you go someplace bigger like Pitt or Penn State. Now, when my baby boy was heading to college, he got into all the places he wanted to. He chose Kent State because cost was a factor. All right? He earned some scholarship money here and there. He chose Kent. Now, after his freshman year at Kent, he did a tremendous job, but he's like, I'm going to try something else. Now, he had the opportunity because my wife, Maureen, who teaches career and gifted education at Brentwood, he had the opportunity over Christmas break to go to UPMC Labs down in Oakland, and he got to sit in a couple labs. And he learned about all these other careers that existed in the medical field. He was going towards microbiology, and he learned that he could have went to CCAC and learned how to become a rad tech, radiologist technician, and an MRI. And he can learn how to do all these things. Now imagine if we brought that program down to a high school level, how much money these kids could be saving. He would save money, all of our kids would be saving money. So by using Improvement Science, how can we make South Park better? How can we make our graduated kids better employees, better citizens? We could bring VOTEC and CTE careers down to a lower level and hopefully start them by 7th or 8th grade. I know it sounds like a lot, but it can be done. So that's another benefit. Another benefit is just having positive experiences and exposures. You just want kids to, hey, I want to come to school. I want to come learn about other careers. I want to do this. I want to use my hands, all right? So many times, and I'll talk later about with discipline, a lot of kids act up because they don't want to be in certain classes. Well, according to our schedule, you have to be in this class. And that leads to problems. If we gave them these opportunities using improvement science, they could have more positive experiences at South Park or at area districts around Western Pennsylvania, and that would give them more exposure. Now, right here, I was talking about how my son had that opportunity to have that positive experiences at the UPMC labs down in Oakland, and he decided that he was not going to return to Kent, which I was very upset with, and then he explained it to good old dad later. He had a positive opportunity to go to CCAC, and that's where he is now, and he's getting ready to graduate this May. He saved a ton of money, and he's going to have a tremendous job and growth potential, and it's going to be financially stable, all right? Another benefit that we have is hopefully, since the kids are doing something they want to do, something they enjoy doing, we have increased graduation rates. More kids want to come to school, more kids want to graduate. By doing these careers, that's a possibility. By moving these programs to an early age, it is possible. You're finding something that they're excited about. All right, graduation rates. Next one, attendance. Ever since COVID, everybody's worrying about attendance rates. 5th grade, we have attendance rates, 6th grade, 7th, all the way up to South Park. Someone's always going to the magistrate, it seems like, over in West Jefferson Hills. Hopefully by giving something that the kids want, something that they're touching with their hands, they can figure out what they enjoy and makes them want to come here. By makes them want to come here, it eliminates some problems, hopefully. All right. Wrong way. You can remove the barriers from entry to current CTE programs. All right. Hear me out on this one. Depending on the size of your school, there's a percent of how many open jobs or open slots you have in your CTE programs, all right? So if you're a larger school, you obviously have more. If you're a smaller school, you have less. So let's say South Park, it's not the biggest school. If there's 10 open slots in bricklaying, or 5 or 6 open slots in plumbing, if we have 10 kids, we have to turn those 4 away. These 4 want to become plumbers. These 4 are excited about becoming plumbers. So if we can bring this in-house, if we can make changes using improvement science to our CTE program, we don't have to turn those 4 away, right? Imagine if you had a library and you had kids that wanted to read and you go, oh, you can't come in here anymore. There's no more books. What would you do as a librarian? You'd order more books. What should we do as teachers? You want to learn how to become a plumber, we're going to make sure you're going to learn how to become a plumber. You make the first step to us, and we'll make the next 2 steps to you. Using improvement science, and I'm going to keep holding up this book, you can make your education experience better, you can make your district better, all right? It's very simple. How much? I just did a couple trades that you could have. This is the salary. You look at plumber. Now this is according to Indeed. We all know it's way more than $32 or $31 an hour to call a plumber. All right. Early exposure. By giving these kids an opportunity to do something earlier, they might fall in love. Think of my son Mitch. If he had the opportunity to put his hands and experience radiology tech departments, that's something he might have loved earlier on, and he might have focused his energy towards that at an earlier age, and he might not have I don't want to use the word wasted time in other classes that he didn't need or wanted to focus on. He could have been focusing on his career. Some kids, by the time they're 16 or 17, know exactly what they want to do in life, which is totally fine. They want to be this, they want to be X. Help them become that. Start these programs earlier, help them become that. Smaller class sizes. By adding these classes to our specials rotation in 7th grade and 8th grade, we're actually going to have less people in art, less people in FCS, less people in music, so which makes all classes smaller. Every teacher would love to have smaller classes. You can have a bigger impact when you're with a smaller group, a smaller population. By adding these classes, not only are we introducing these CTE programs earlier, you're also allowing the other specials, the other classes, the other tech ed classes that we have in the school to become better because they're smaller. They're serving a smaller number of students. Another benefit. Community outreach. In this book, you learn they always want to have community outreach. As a good school, you want to have community outreach. By having these programs, have people from the plumbing companies in South Park, the electrical companies in South Park, have them come in, have them engage, say, hey, you need to set up your program like this. Hey, this is a new trade that we're learning. Hey, this is a new technique. Allow those community members that come in so they feel invested in this program along with the teachers, all right? So those are our benefits. Student employment, hey, we hire people to cut grass in the summertime that are kids. If we're teaching these kids to become plumbers, electricians, mechanics, they can fix our fleet of vehicles. They can become electricians in the school. I need a plug replaced. I'm not allowed to do it because the school won't allow me to, but if over the summertime, have an electrician in South Park, because they're taking electrical classes, they can oversee them, they can watch, and they can replace the plugs in my school. They could do this. Summer employment. Kids are making money. South Park is saving money because they don't have to go out and hire, XYZ electrical. All right? This is something to learn from Dr. Kolat. All right? If we have a program that is not at our Still Center or our CTE program, we can have it here. We can have it here. So if you have airplane mechanics, that's not at Still Center. We can have it here at South Park. Have our own in-house program. Students from other schools could come here instead of going to Still Center, and they would have to send the money to us. Now, Dr. Kolat was explaining that to me, and she goes, it depends on the program, how much it costs to send a kid to each individual school. So, for instance, Bethel Park, let's just say it's $10,000 to send them to Bethel Park. South Park would get half of that because they're spending half of their day here. So South Park would get $5,000. If you can get a program where you can have 10 kids, there's $50,000. If you can get 20, there's 100. So the district would actually have the potential to make money. Later I'll talk about my conversation with Mr. Godovic and Dr. Kolat here coming up. Okay, we have some positives, we have some negatives. One problem might be the schedule of the students. How can we align that? Now, Dr. Kolat said, hey, how would we plug it in a computer? The computer can give us the best schedule. She says it is going to be an issue, not a major issue, but it's an issue that we have to realize that it's out there, all right? Just because you have to have certain classes, certain times a day so everyone can have them, all right? Another negative, added benefit and added salary. We're going to have to, according to my plan, we're going to have to hire 2 more teachers. 3 would be ideal. You do that, it's going to cost us $50,725 per, and this is in the year 2026, 27, for 1 teacher plus benefits. So 2, you're looking at $100,000, $102,000 plus benefits of if they're single, another 10. You might have $150,000, but we're giving the kids an opportunity for a career choice that they want. We're giving the kids an opportunity to do something they love. By doing this, we're going to hopefully raise those graduation rates. We're going to hopefully raise those attendance rates. That's what we got to do as a school, all right? Another need, cost for equipment. A lot of times you can write grants, you can get used equipment. That is something very minor in my opinion. If you can get that program started, we can go to Lowe's and buy whatever tools that we need. We can go to Home Depot. Heck, years ago I wrote a grant, I got $20,000. I built a pavilion outside with grant money. It's out there. If you are a dedicated teacher using improvement science, you can get a lot of things done. And I got things done even before I read this book, all right? Measurable data. Class sizes. Class sizes are going to be smaller. But when I say class sizes, I'm saying, hey, this first year we have nobody in aviation mechanic because it doesn't exist. The next year we have 10 kids. Way to go, South Park. The following year we go from 10 to 15. We go from 15 to 20. That's a measurable data. I have no doubt in my mind that it will be successful. I have no doubt in my mind it will be successful. All right? Measurable data, obviously I talked earlier, attendance rate and graduation rates are going to go up if we do everything successfully. Another measurable data is that their discipline referrals, your discipline actions should go down because kids are doing something that they want to do. They're finding their interest, they're finding their love, and I'll talk in a couple more slides how I know for a fact by doing this, it will eliminate your discipline your discipline problems. Post-graduation placements, obviously, we can see how many people go to college, how many people go into direct workforce, and we can track that. How many people are plumbers, electricians, laborers, carpenters. We can track that placement very easily. All right. In conclusion, I feel that this is a realistic plan that South Park could incorporate into the curriculum here at South Park. All right. I know our district's small. However, the benefits would last years for the district and a lifetime for the students. And isn't that why we're in education? Isn't that why we're here to make our students' lives better, to make them better citizens, to make them better parents, to make them better individuals? That's why we're here, and this could happen. And I feel confident enough that I'm seriously talking to Mr. Godovic, who's our superintendent. I talk to him all the time with union stuff. And Dr. Colott about if we can do some of these. Now, he was like, you put it on paper, and I know you talked about the one person that you went to a school board meeting. If you do have time, I would appreciate if you could sit down or maybe give me a call, and we could talk this through, and I could make a final project. In my mind, I think it's realistic, and it's a final project. And, I'm a little gung-ho about it, but I think it's something that could be possibly done. I know there's a couple other school districts who do it, who have a way better career tech program than we do. Maybe following their lead. And if you don't mind, if you would reach out and maybe help me shine this up a little bit so I can have all their questions answered even before they answer them. That's what I always like to do, and that's what I always tell my kids. Have every question answered before they even have a chance to answer them. So, one thing, this is my references pages right here. So I have everything, the salaries, everything, college tuition, welder salary. There's one thing I do want to go back to, and I had to miss it. Okay, here we go. The discipline is going to go down. How do I know this? Measurable data. The kids that get in trouble in 5th grade and 6th grade, they come to my room for lunch, and we fix stuff. We go around the room, we fix stuff. We go around the building, we fix things. pencil sharpeners. We fix flat tires outside. We fix the lawnmowers. We sharpen the lawnmower blades. We fix a snowblower. These kids are learning a skill from me, and I'm just their science teacher, but they're learning skills that they can use every day. They're learning skills, that will translate to making money. There's a number of kids. I have my mechanic right up Binions, right on 88. Every year, I take up 1 or 2 8th graders. Hey, Scotty. Hey, Howie, I've been going there for years. So he's more like family. Hey, I got a kid, teach him up. And he'll take a couple kids over the summer and teach them. And now they're cleaning the shop, and they're sweeping up, and they're getting the certain tools, but they're learning that trade. And he's actually hired a couple of them, all right? Hopefully, I did what you asked. I did try my best. I did enjoy reading this book. And it was a pleasure being in your class, all right? Take care. Thank you much. And if you have time, please reach out and help me out to propose this to South Park. All right? Take care. Bye-bye. Thank you much.